Welcome back to the show, everyone. It is our spring show, so we're talking about all kinds of things you can do to revamp your life and your outdoors for spring.
We're going to talk about gardening with Caitlin Black. She's here from Aloe Designs. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys
Hi,
doing?
Caitlin. Thanks for joining us. Now, you must really enjoy weekends like we just had.
Yes,
when it's really
most
sunny
definitely.
and you can get outside without freezing. How important is this time of year in terms of the cycle of gardening? Is this a big one?
Yeah, I mean, this year for sure more than ever, just because we've had such a long winter. So I think on sunny days like this, people are definitely getting out there.
We're breaking free.
You got to get out there and
now,
give it.
everybody wants to know about what they can do to green up their life, including their gardens, which you'd think would be green already, but there's all sorts of things people can do, including worm bins.
Yes.
Now,
Fiona loves worms.
I love worms.
I hear this.
What's a worm bin for?
A worm bin is
I
a
get all nervous.
I know. I can see you like, worm bin.
There's
freaking out.
There's worms in there. What is it for?
It's a small composting system, and it's great for sort of small space gardening, which is a lot of the clients that we have in Vancouver. And what's great about it is it's a self-contained unit, completely odorless, very easy to manage, and it's basically a system where worms will turn your kitchen waste into fertilizers, soils, and good stuff for your
Where does the worm poo come into play?
Oh, that's a whole separate thing.
Well, it's a good question, though.
It is, because it's worm related. What's worm poo for?
Worm poo is the concentrated fertilizer that comes out of this bin. So this tap right down here is where you would extract that from.
Is this what people call compost tea?
Yes, exact
well
same
then
thing.
it is what it is. It's worm poo, people. Stop calling it tea.
Yeah, stop calling it compost tea. And what do you use this for? This is...
That's great. You dilute it with water, and you basically can spray your lawn with it. You can spray your plants with it, and it's just an all-purpose fertilizer that's completely good for the garden.
And then we've got something called sea soil. What's that?
Yeah, sea soil is a product that we use a lot. We often use it on the top of containers to keep the moisture retained. It has this great kind of dark, rich color.
It does.
It's also great in garden beds. It's completely organic. Again, a really good natural fertilizer for your plants.
Nice.
This is very pretty too.
I've noticed a real focus on that and all the things we've talked about already, that you're trying to use things that are
natural,
natural and
sure.
pesticide free.
There's a lot of synthetic fertilizers out there that we're really trying to get people to stay away from.
Nice.
Just it takes a lot of energy
and even
to
bug
use them.
sprays and that sort of thing.
Definitely.
You can there's so many alternatives.
For sure.
Nice. Now, one of the things people are talking about a lot is edible gardens and growing things that you can snack on as well. This is an excellent example.
What's in there?
So this is a little harvest box. We call this like a miniature harvest box. So this is something where you can start your lettuce seeds in, and then eventually
your Caesar
transport
salad, your greens here.
Yeah, there you go.
Nice.
You can basically get a salad from a box like this.
And this would work well, as you were mentioning, in contained space as well, like on a patio, on a condo or something.
Yeah.
You could
and I like what you've done with the container. It's something very vintage and retro, and it gives it a nice look. So if it is on your balcony, you're not looking at something garish.
Yeah, and I mean, this is great. These are items that you can find in the kitchen. So repurposing your containers and really using everything in your space.
I like these. These are nice tomatoes.
Nice tomatoes. And what have we got here? This is one of my favorites as far as the, I just
Easy.
killed the chives.
Kill the chives.
I was chopping them. But it's a nice vintage, what is it, a wash basin?
Yeah, it's like an old-fashioned wash basin, and we've just put a selection of herbs in here.
Nice. And if you want to go 70s style, I love this one. I remember this from when we were literally in grade school, and that's how you used to start a lot of your plants. Or my mom used to start her tomatoes in those too.
Yeah, it's a great way to...
Old school.
Yeah.
Is that what is that?
That's a cucumber.
Oh, cucumbers.
Okay. Forbes, Mrs. Green Thumbs. She can grow anything. These cucumbers.
I know what this is. This is a shovel.
That's right. That's right. You're good. You're set. You're ready to go.
And a lot of people like to do the bird feeder thing too. I know my mom definitely does. No, come on now. It's really important to buy the proper kind of bird feeders too, so you don't endanger the birdies.
Yeah, for sure.
Why do we have potatoes here?
So we have potatoes here. This is a colleague of ours told us this great way of planting potatoes in a coffee sack. So go to your local roaster. Ask for an old coffee sack, and you put the potatoes in the base, and as they start growing up, you put the soil, you keep mounding the soil on them, you roll the sack up, and at the end you have a sack of potatoes that you
Sack of
break open.
potatoes!
Potatoes, well, and potatoes have a tendency to take over.
They do, and
areas.
the more
It's like
you mound
mint.
up, the better. They're
Oh,
happier.
great.
Yeah.
And that keeps it kind of contained
Definitely.
as well. And in there. Want to talk a little bit about community gardens, and because we're seeing them springing up all over Vancouver. It's a great initiative. What do you think about those things?
This is a trend that we're hoping people are really going to catch on with this year. It's something we're very much involved in with a community garden, a schoolyard garden out in Richmond that facilitates learning and growing for kids in the community. And this is what it's about. This is what our city is about. We have to get out there. We have to get to know our neighbors again, get to know your farmers, and know where your food's coming from.
Yeah, well, and just that idea of where your food, how it grows,
sure.
how this process actually takes place, too. A lot of kids miss that when they grow up.
They don't know. I mean, when we first started there, we were fascinated by where flour even comes from.
Right.
So, yeah.
As I'm demonstrating my knowledge, you wouldn't know that I
This
grew
is
up
a
on
shovel!
a farm. Now, people can do home tours as well. How does that work?
Yeah, so a lot of times people want to know where designers are getting their trends and getting their inspiration from. And for us, home tours is by far kind of our source of inspiration. Yeah. Getting out there, even just going around your neighborhood, going for a bike ride, checking out spaces.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be an organized tour. You can go and be a little bit of a Snoopy J.
And there are lots of organized home tours in our city that are great, that are coming up in May and June. And it's just a great way to
get ideas to see what actually works in our environment.
For sure. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Caitlin. If you want to find out more from Aloe Designs and about the worm poop, you can certainly do that. aloedesigns.com.
Or if you have gardening questions,
you can just call me.
Send an email to Fiona, and I'm sure she'll steer you in the right direction. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're talking about spring cleaning next. Mary is joining us from the Recycling Council of BC to talk about how you can clean out your garage and do it in a way that you're maximizing your recycling and making sure that things go to a good use instead of into a landfill. We'll be right back with that.
Yeah.